Hello, and today I've got Dr. Rebecca Broadbent with me, and she's a teaching fellow and programme director for the Engineering and Applied Science Foundation programme. Rebecca, welcome to Aston Originals, and today we're going to be talking about, are we putting children off engineering? So before we go into that issue, can you tell me, what is an engineer?
That's a really big question. And I'd say, well, engineering's huge in terms of a discipline. There's lots of different types of engineer. They're all looking to invent, to design, to build, to innovate, working with systems or mechanisms. They're all looking to create something that makes the world a better place, but working within safety and legislation and logistics. So ultimately, I think engineers are problem solvers. They're looking to create a better world for communities, for individuals, and for the planet as well.
But there are problems, aren't there, with the thing that we hear a lot about, which is the STEM skills gap, and STEM being science, technology, engineering, maths. And there was an article earlier this year in the New Civil Engineer, which claimed that the UK economy loses around £1.5 billion a year because of that skills gap. So why do you think we're in this position?
So yeah, that figure came from an IET, so Institution of Engineering and Technology report. And I was reading that recently because I think it was around 173,000 people. That was the gap between what we need and what we have in terms of engineers. So there really is a huge skills gap. And this isn't something that's new. I did my PhD 2016, 2017, 2018. And this was something that fed into why I did the work I did then as well. So it's not something that's new. It's something that's been ongoing, but the narrative around this has changed. And I agree with the findings of that IET report in terms of it being around the perception of engineering. So we don't have engineering in the curriculum from a young age. We don't have a particularly clear perception of engineering. And just thinking about that definition of engineering is so huge that it's quite hard to explain, particularly to younger children, what engineers do, and quite hard to explain to society what engineers do. So there's this kind of mixed perception of what an engineer is, what it means to be an engineer. And what that seems to be doing is putting certain people off engineering. So we know that children as young as kind of 10, 11, even younger, there's research that shows that they're making career limiting decisions. So they're deciding what careers are for them and what aren't for them. We used to think it was around gender stereotyping, but it doesn't seem to be that. And some of my research echoes with some of the findings that I've seen Engineering UK come out with recently around it's not necessarily that gender stereotype. It's more around the perception of engineering and what that is, turning certain groups of people off.
So that sounds like a huge problem. What do you think can be done about this?
So I think changing how we speak about engineering, changing when we speak about engineering is a really big part of this. So when do we involve children in conversations around engineering? When do we involve the public in conversations around engineering? What are the words that we use and what are the activities that we do to engage people who aren't engineers with engineering?
And here at Aston University, the engineering department's got the prestigious Athena Swan Gold, and that's in recognition of gender equality. So that's going off at a slight tangent, but what are some of the other things that are being done here at the university?
Yeah, so I think it's really important because a lot of the people that we actually turn off engineering are females. So it's not necessarily around that, oh, engineering's for males, but it's engineering in the way that we perceive engineering is not seen as something that a lot of young girls want to do. And I think we've had lots of leaky pipe analogies over the however many years of where we kind of trickle out female engineers. And we know, I think the most recent figure is 26% of the engineering workforce we have are female. And that's not great from an engineering point of view. We need to keep females within. We need to have a really diverse community of engineers to make the impact we want to have on the planet and on people's lives. So it's amazing some of the stuff that Aston does in terms of the support mechanisms that are available. So through that Athena Swan Gold, there's lots of outreach that we do promoting engineering to diverse communities and in particular schoolgirls. So going out and talking about what we do as engineers and involving our students with that as well to show what engineers look like. There's a saying that you can't be what you can't see, so we want to take our role models out there. There's some fantastic staff support as well, because it's not just about getting those people through into the education system and showing anyone can be an engineer and what you can do with it. It's also about keeping people in engineering and making it an inclusive space. And I think that's one of the things that Aston does really well, is both for students and staff, making that inclusive space that shows that you can bring who you are to engineering and your point is valid and your voice is valid and will be listened to. So there's Inspiring Women at Aston. So there's a great group which just really diverse conversations about what it means to be a woman in engineering. But there's also just nice social events. There's some great student support. And yeah, getting that word out there and being really proud of who we are.
Now, that's talking about young people, but what about really, really young people? And that's something that you're interested in, isn't it? So can you tell me what you've been doing?
Yes, so I'm really interested in primary school children's experiences of engineering, and their understanding of engineering goes back to that's when they're starting to think about what careers are for them and what aren't for them. I'm a chartered engineer and I'm a member of the Institution of Mechanical Engineering, the IMechE, and I've been really lucky that they've sponsored a place on STEMazing Inspiration Academy. So it's part of STEMazing Women. And I'm undergoing some training. I'm 2 months in now, undergoing some training to build confidence on camera, think about our values and the reason why we do what we do. And on the 14th of November, I start delivering online STEM sessions to primary school children. And we've got 6 sessions that we're going to deliver. And the aim is to get them interested in engineering, but also to show them a face of someone who is an engineer and give them that opportunity to ask questions and get involved.
And what other things are you going to be doing? It sounds like fun, actually.
Yes, I'm really excited, and I'm hoping the children are as well. So we're going to do things like building amazing structures, so really hands-on, so children being around 7 years old, so hands-on, simple 40-minute tasks. So we're going to use different shapes to build structures out of paper, and then we're going to test them and see which shapes are the strongest. We're going to make some energy potential poppers, so we're basically going to make using balloons and tubes, and we're going to be able to shoot things across the room and see if changing the size, the shape, the weight makes any difference to how they fly through the air. We're going to make a lava lamp using water, oil, and an effervescent tablet as well, and talk about density and how liquids interact and how gases interact. So lots of short, sharp, kind of really fun hands-on science sessions, but with that link to engineering, because engineering is all about applying that science and maths. So it's linking it to the things that these children are doing in their curriculum and showing where that fits into the world of engineering.
That sounds fun. Can I come along?
Yes, absolutely.
But seriously, if we did bring a young person into the studio today and they're at that stage where they're trying to decide what they want to do in life, what advice would you have for them?
So I have a stepson who is going through this process at the moment, actually. And it's really hard conversations to have, but I think it's ask questions. And think about what you want to do. There's careers advice out there and there's lots of places to look, but it's kind of overwhelming, I think, when you are quite young and you're trying to decide for the rest of your life. I would say don't think about it like that. There's lots of doors that will open as you go. Engineering definitely opens a lot of doors, and you don't have to become an engineer at the end of it. But there's lots of skills that you will develop. So if you're a bit confused, if you're not sure, there's some great online resources around engineering. So Tomorrow's Engineers has some fantastic age-appropriate resources as well, so really accessible. But yeah, ask questions of people at your school. Go to university open days and come and ask us questions, because we can talk to you about what the degree will look like as well, what studying will look like. And we've got lots of different ways you can get into engineering, so it doesn't have to be a degree. I teach on the foundation program, so that's a way into engineering degrees at our college, at our university, for people who maybe haven't taken the right A-levels or the right qualifications, or haven't got those grades that they were hoping for to get directly onto an undergraduate degree in engineering. We've also got degree apprenticeship. So there's lots of different routes that you can take. So think about what it is you really want to do. Think about how you like to study, how you like to learn, and then ask those conversations. But definitely, I think open days and getting in contact with a university, if you've got any questions, is a great way to go.
And I've got one more question for you. It's a bit of a cheeky one. Engineering, is it cool?
I think so, clearly. I think it's cool. And the reason I think it's cool is not because of the machines that we get to play with or the systems we get to do. I think it's cool because you get to have, you get to be part of people's lives. So you get to have conversations with communities, and you get to make things or design things or co-create things that have an impact on people's lives. You get to walk down the road as an engineer, and even if it's tiny things, be like, I had a hand in making that. I created that thing. So the thing that I find really cool about engineering is that ability to improve people's lives and to make a massive impact on our future.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for coming in, talking to us. And that's it for today. If you want to find out more about the foundation course that Rebecca was referring to, there are details in the links. And you can also follow us on Twitter, which is now called X.